Real Talk Monday, episode 102. I would run, but I don't want to mess up my knees, and other lame excuses we hear. All right, we've warned you about the Real Talk Monday episodes that if you easily get your feelings hurt or do not want to hear the truth coming at you, then this is probably the podcast every week that you want to skip. But for those of you that are really wanting to get better and to look in the mirror and figure out how can I be the very best me I can be, these are good podcasts for you to listen to. They're short and they're right to the punch. So I would run, but I don't want to mess up my knees. So this is something a good friend of mine that I've known my whole life. He ran into him and he said, "Hey man," he said, "see some of that stuff you do on Facebook, and I got to do something. I've had some health issues, blah, blah, blah." I said, "But man, I can't." He said, I can't do any of that running stuff that you're doing because I don't want to mess up my knees." Well, I'll be 50 in May, and he's the same age. And his next question was, "So what do I need to do?" And I looked back. I said, "Okay." I said, You asked. I said, "So if you ask someone's opinion, then you're giving them the right to speak to you in a caring, and I think caring ways you speak to people is you tell them the truth and you try to help them." And so I asked him a couple of questions. I said, "Look, are you pre-diabetic or diabetic? And I know you've had some issues going on. You've had high blood pressure that you've actually had to start taking medicine for." And I said, "How much weight are you trying to lose?" And it was over 100 pounds. And then I looked back at him. I said, "So the question you're coming to me with, and the thing that the statement you're making to me is, I can't do any of that running because I don't want to mess up my knees." And I'm not. When I said that to him, his eyes kind of perked up. And he said, "Dang, man, you put it that way." I'm like, "Yeah." I said, I'm not telling you. Don't hear this as, "Well, you should go out and start running. Go out and run 5 miles today." No, that was not the point. The point was, okay, you were making an excuse of saying, "I don't want to hurt my knees," and you're not looking at the bigger problem, which is, okay, what got me to the place that I'm at right now? And what I wanted to accomplish with this podcast and this Real Talk Monday is to, any of those excuses that we use, let's set those aside and let's look in the mirror. And when I say look in the mirror, that is not hey, just look at your physical state. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. What I'm saying is look in that mirror and say, okay, what have I done up to this point to get me to where I am right now? And what do I need to do moving forward to get me to where I want to go?
Okay, Kevin, that's great. But what you're asking somebody to do, you're asking somebody to change. And change is uncomfortable. Change is scary. Mm-hmm. Change hurts. Change is mentally challenging. You want them to do that on a Monday?
Yeah, that's exactly what well, let me push back a little bit, because generally when you get to that point, think about what he said. He said, "Hey man, I've seen some of that stuff you do on Facebook." Okay. Which he's probably in one of our groups or something, or maybe he's listening. He knows he needs to change. And I would argue that most people, when they find themselves in positions, they know. I don't think it's a thing of them knowing and recognizing that they need to change. I think most people see that, okay, this is not. They see when I asked that about the heart, I knew that he had high blood pressure and all these things. That these are things that decisions had led his body to. The decisions he made up to that point had brought him to that point. And so I don't think it's a question with people. I think most people know I need to make some changes.
But that's where You are asking people right now to make a decision.
Yes.
You're going to make a decision that today I'm going to do something differently than what I've done for the last 10 years.
Yes.
Oh, that's hard. That is hard. That takes mental willpower. That takes some physical oomph. You got to get off the sofa.
Yeah.
But if you want to see those changes, it's going to hurt. Your knees might hurt a little bit. You got to ice.
Yeah. Well, I would even say that I have seen, and it's all, no matter where you are in your journey, it's always things that are I mentioned to you this morning of, I had a workout yesterday that I hate these. Mm-hmm. I hate them.
Why do you hate it?
Because it puts me outside of my comfort zone. And let me explain. I've always characterized myself, and I will literally say this to people about running. Because it's like, oh, because they'll talk about my daughters that run. It's like, oh, well, Dad, you're a runner too. I'm like, well, I don't know if you consider what I do. I mean, I'm kind of slow. I can go for a long way and keep going, but I'm just not, I'm not a fast runner.
But you can be.
But I can't, well.
Mentally, you don't like to push yourself there.
Yes.
It's uncomfortable for you.
Yes. That's that's the piece that I have gotten to, is that I am, now you talk about mental toughness, you're just coming off of pneumonia and you're on the podcast, so we'll excuse a cough or two.
Sorry.
But it has led me to that point of, okay, yesterday I had runs that I had 800 intervals inside, 800 meter intervals, which is a half mile. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, that just sounds great. Yeah. That's exactly what I look. Now, if I had a workout that was, hey, run 15 miles at your zone 2 pace.
Oh, Kevin loves those.
When I go out and I just go and go and go. But what I have found is doing these things and going into that place that I'm not comfortable it is changing what I'm doing, and it's changing. All of a sudden I'm getting faster, and I'm starting to, even my slower runs are getting faster, and these things are happening. So I understand that place of we love whatever our comfort zone is. We love that place. Now we know that you made a comment in my a couple of weeks ago. It's like, hey, you need to back off on these walk breaks on I'm talking about on my warm up and cool down. You need to back off on those and get a little bit faster. Run these a little bit faster. And I was like, well, I don't want to run them any faster. I like the way that feels. I mean, I was thinking, I like the way that feels. I don't want to do it. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Just add, cut out 30 seconds of the walk. Do this, and all of a sudden you're making progress. You are seeing progress, and my fear for people is they get in that place where they know they need to change. They know this is not good where I am. But they're afraid to make that decision, and they don't make that decision. And so when they don't make that decision, they never get themselves to that very first place where they see some kind of progress. And one of the keys, I think, is when you start seeing some of that progress, then it motivates you to continue down this road of seeing more progress.
Sure, that this is true, but you're not really going to see progress for weeks. And you have to, if you have not been doing anything, the first step is getting off your sofa, walking out your front door, and go to walk for 10 minutes. Just walk. Walk slow. Just move. Yeah. That alone, for a lot of people who've been doing nothing, that is a workout.
Yes.
And workouts look different for everybody, depending on where you are. For you, those 800s kind of get in your head. For other people, it might just be going for a walk because they think it might hurt, and it might hurt a little bit, but that's why you start slow. You got to take baby steps, but it's getting off the sofa, walking out the door, and getting moving. And if that's really hard, which it is for some people, call a friend and get a friend to go walk with you. And instead of going for coffee and a Danish, go for a walk together. Make it social so that it's fun, so that it's something you look forward to. And then once you've kind of conquered that for a few weeks in a row, you can step it up, maybe do 3 times 30 seconds jogging. But you don't have to, like when you get off the sofa, you are not training to run a marathon. You are simply getting your body moving. And I think that too many people, we see too much on social media that, look, I did all these workouts and I've got a 6-pack abs. That doesn't happen in a month. But in a month, you can really change how you feel mentally and physically if you just start moving. Find friends who support you. Find a coach, find a group. In Spartanburg, we've got the Hub City Runners. I know they've got tons of beginners out there. They have a running program out of the shop on Reedville Road, and I think they meet at Dorman High School. I mean, programs like that are amazing because not only do you learn, but you start to make friends who want the same thing that you do. They want to start moving. They want to be outside. They want to better themselves. And bettering yourself, like whether it's walking, moving, just getting off the sofa, it will change your day-to-day, your work, not to mention just how you feel, but it's amazing what it'll do for you mentally.
Yeah, it will change everything. And so we started this Real Talk Monday with a real smack the back of the head, and hopefully we have ended it with an encouragement to you to go out and take just what is that next step you need to take. Find those people, like the coach said, find those people that are like-minded, and this is what you may find. That other person that is a friend of yours that may be in the same boat, maybe they're just waiting on somebody to encourage them. And this could be something that you start together. So we wanted to punch you and then pick you up off the floor and encourage you and let you know that you're worth this. You're absolutely worth it. Your health is worth it. Your life is worth it. And would just encourage you to do what you got to do. Take that next step. And remember, if you'll just do the hard things today, tomorrow will take care of itself.